All right, welcome to this video, and we'll be looking at some soft skills in action. We'll be looking at some real life scenarios in this video. There's also an assessment, and also we're looking at how to develop, these soft skills. So you're welcome to this video. All right, so let's look at some real life scenarios where soft skills are important and are needed. Right, the first scenario is your supervisor gives you a negative feedback in front of your colleagues. What do you do? So that's the question, right? If your supervisor gives you a negative feedback in front of your colleagues, in front of your even in front of your subordinates, what would you do? Right? Would you react? Would you respond in a negative way? Would you feel bad? How would you react in such a situation? Now, in such a situation, there are skills that are needed. The first is your emotional intelligence, right? The ability to manage your emotions in that time, right? And also communicate, and also self-control, communication and self-control, right? These are the soft skills that are needed to handle such a situation. Because if you don't handle that situation well, it will decide if you are staying or if you are leaving the organization. Right, so you see why these soft skills are important, right? There are things that, like I said, soft skills are skills that help you to relate with people in the workplace. It's your interpersonal relationship skills, right? These are soft skills. Now, the second scenario, and I want you to answer this question. These are rhetorical questions, right? Answer them and tell yourself what you would have done. Scenario number 2, you are placed in a team where no one knows each other. How do you approach that? Right? You're placed in a team, right? I remember I went for a conference once and I was placed in a team. We were told to, we're given a task, and all of us were placed in the team and we're given about 15 minutes to solve that task. Right? So how do you approach it? You are placed in a team where no one knows each other. How do you approach solving tasks? How do you approach solving problems in that situation? Now, some of the soft skills needed will be teamwork, adaptability, and leadership. Right? The ability to work with that team, the ability to be adaptable, right, to changes. You've not done this before, but your ability to adapt, be resilient, and still be flexible. Right? So these are skills that are needed, and also your leadership skills. Because in that moment, the team will need to select a leader, right? And so these are skills that help you thrive in the workplace. Your CV, your qualifications, your certifications can get you the job, but these are the skills that will help you go far, at the place of work. The next scenario is you have a deadline. A deadline is fast approaching. You are overwhelmed, right? How do you proceed? So you have a task, but the deadline is fast approaching and you are overwhelmed because of the multiple things you need to do, or you're just confused on where to start, how to go about it. How do you proceed? You see, these are the things that they won't necessarily teach you, in the university, but they are interpersonal skills and attributes that you develop. For example, time management. Remember, we talked about it. Problem solving, work ethic. These are things that are soft skills that will help you, excellently go through that phase and come out, you come out successful. Time management skills, because the deadline is approaching. So you have to delegate, prioritize, and delegate your time to solving that problem, right? And the ability to analyze that problem in such a way that you can go to the root of it and solve it at the most pressing point. And then the last one is your work ethic, right? Your ability to be resilient and engage in that task relentlessly until you solve it. These are soft skills and they are very important, right? And I need you to answer these questions too in your heart. Now let's look at how to develop these soft skills. So the number one key is self-reflection. So you have to ask for feedback regularly and reflect on it. Self-reflection is very key if you want to develop your soft skills. Self-reflection is very key. The ability to ask for feedback and receive that feedback positively and reflect on it and work on it, right? Ask for feedback, receive it honestly and humbly, reflect on it and work on it. That is the first way and the most powerful way to develop your soft skills. The second thing is to take on leadership or volunteer roles. Yes, take on leadership roles. Don't shy away from them. Take volunteer roles. Don't shy away from them. Don't say, you must pay me. There are some times that when you volunteer, you learn some things that you could not pay to learn, right? So take on leadership role, take on volunteer roles. These are the ways that we develop soft skills. The next is to practice active listening and clear communication daily. And I'm sure that this is talking about developing your communication skills, right? How to develop your communication skills. You practice active listening daily. If you're somebody who likes to speak, you have to intentionally practice listening to people, right? So you have to practice it daily and learn clear communication daily. The next thing is to join groups or communities that build teamwork. Join groups or communities that build teamwork, right? We have the Growth Hub, where we create communities where people can grow and build these skills that help them thrive in leadership, skills that help them thrive in professional competence, and skills that help them thrive in social impact. So you want to do well to join the Growth Hub after, your cohort. The next thing is to journal emotional reactions and practice empathy. And this is talking about emotional intelligence, right? To journal emotional reactions and practice empathy. The ability to journal, first of all, the ability to put your thoughts, put your emotions on paper, right? It helps you communicate your thoughts, express your thoughts. It helps you to, to channel your thoughts, to understand your thoughts, your feelings, right? And it also helps you to practice empathy, because there are some people who are not as advanced as you are. Because you have practiced these processes, you are able to empathize with them, to see where they are and help them. The ability to be in touch with the pain points of the people, right? The next thing is to attend workshops, right? Read books, take online courses. Very important, take online courses. Sometimes we think that we can develop these skills on our own, but usually it's not the case, right? Take online courses, attend workshops, read books, and all of that. Practice daily, by all means. Practice these things daily, right? You can also set a weekly soft skill to focus on. So, for example, this week I'm focusing on my emotional intelligence, right? Trying to build everything at once can be challenging, right? But you can focus on one skill per week or per month, right, as you develop each of them, right? And the next thing is to identify real situations to apply these things, right? You don't just want to be learning and not applying them, right? So as you learn, you identify a real situation and you apply what you've learned to it. And then you reflect on it and you see how much you've learned and how much you have improved. These are the ways to develop your soft skills. And I also encourage, like I said, I encourage you to take these things seriously, right? Do more research on them, find out the many soft skills that exist, right? And build on them. I also encourage you to join the Growth Hub, right? The Growth Hub is a place where we continuously learn and improve, ourselves. So this is a self-assessment, right? I want you to rate yourself from 1 to 5, according to the 8 soft skills that we've talked about, right? From communication, emotional intelligence, leadership, adaptability, work ethic, all of them. I want you to rate yourself honestly and sincerely from 1 to 5. 1 meaning very weak, you are weak in that area, and 5 meaning very strong, right? So let's say number 1 is very weak, 2 is weak or poor, 3 is good, 4 is strong, and then 5 is very strong, right? So rate yourself. What do you rate yourself in communication skills? 1 to 5. What do you rate yourself in emotional intelligence? 1 to 5. What do you rate yourself in? And be as sincere as possible. You can also give a friend to help rate you in these areas. Now, I want you to also reflect on your answers. Which of these skills is your strongest, right? Find out which of these skills are your strongest. Now, which one needs the most improvement? And I would advise that you focus on that one and work on that one first. And then how does your current role challenge or support these skills, right? Or your future role where you are going to, which of these skills would be needed and which of these skills will complement, your future endeavor. So these are the things I want you to work on as you reflect on this module of soft skills, right? I know that this module has been very impactful, and I want you to also engage in the exercise and the activities, that will be given. And I hope that, you have been impacted. Again, your degree may get you the job, but your soft skills will determine how far you go. All right, thank you very much. I'll see you in the next module.